Morning, Glory America, Bonjour, hi Canada. Dr. Oz not only won last night, so did Senator Ron Johnson. Mandela Barnes is more radical than John Fetterman. John Fetterman lied about all of his previous positions. I wonder if Mandela Barnes is trying the same thing. Ron Johnson joins us now. Good morning, Senator. How goes the effort up north?
Good morning, Hugh. And yes, he is lying about everything. But let's face it, that's all Democrats have. I mean, they can't defend 40-year high inflation, record gas prices, skyrocketing crime, deadly drugs flowing through our open border. They've got nothing other than lies and character assassination, and they have no problem doing it, by the way. That's what's so disappointing about our politics today is the left has no problem lying through their teeth, and, of course, they have the media amplifying their lies.
I've never seen a combined arms campaign of the media, the DNC, and Democratic candidates fail so miserably, though, Senator, because you can't tell people that inflation isn't real and you can't warn them. You can't not warn them about crime. Let's start with crime, because I understand in Wisconsin it is a huge issue.
It is. We, from 2019 to 2021, statewide, murders are up 70%. In Milwaukee, same time frame, 93%. We're on pace to have another record number of murders in Milwaukee. Carjackings are way up. And, of course, we just witnessed the trial of the Waukesha Christmas Parade murderer. And that is now in the hands of the jury. Hopefully they decide quickly. But, of course, that spilled over. I mean, that was the result of low bail, no bail policy. That guy should not have been out on bail. Those 6 people should be alive today. Those 60 people should not have ever been injured. But that is exactly the kind of policies that the radical left is pushing on society and making society and our neighborhoods far less safe.
Now, Senator, the one thing we haven't talked about, Wisconsin's a huge agricultural state. And I often forget to talk to candidates about agriculture, and I apologize to my farming friends out there. What is inflation doing to dairy and farming generally?
It's crushing them. I mean, when you take a look at just the cost of fertilizer skyrocketing. A dairy farmer does not get the benefit of the increasing milk prices at the grocery store. I mean, somewhere those increasing prices are going to somebody else's pocket. So, no, dairy farmers, farmers throughout Wisconsin are struggling. Hugh, just in general, inflation crushes everybody. It destabilizes an economy. That's why it's so easy to slip into stagflation. You have rising prices, and it just crushes economic activity, resulting in what we just saw the last 2 quarters, negative economic growth. And we have to recognize growing our economy is the number one component of the solution to get us out from underneath this massive debt load. But it's amazing what Democrats have done in such a short period of time. They're just destroying our economy. They're destroying people's savings accounts. They're destroying people's retirement. They're destroying our country. They have to be stopped. They need to be defeated.
We need the Republicans back in the majority. Now, yesterday, I talked to a number of people, as I did out in the states, about the border. The border has become, of course, Wisconsin is a northern border state, but every state is now a southern border state. And you will have a big deal to do with this as chair. I think you're going to be chair of Homeland Security. I'm not sure. But does the border matter in Wisconsin the way it did? I went to Colorado, Arizona, Cleveland, Columbus, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. I've been everywhere, man, for the last week. And everybody, everywhere, talks about the border.
Yeah, it impacts Wisconsin in 2 ways. First of all, the deadly drugs flowing into our cities. Now, local law enforcement used to have to shut down meth labs, not anymore because they've been put out of business by the drug cartels in Mexico because of the open border. Secondly, we need workers. We need farm workers. We need factory workers. We need a legal immigration system. And so this flood of illegal immigrants has totally set back any possibility of passing legal immigration reform so we could bring people in without depressing American wages in a legal way. So, no, it's a travesty in so many ways. Plus, the human depredations on the part of the human traffickers to their human cargo. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, I don't want to ruin your listeners' morning here. It's just horrific what these human traffickers do to illegal immigrants that are abused by them.
So will we get, I think we're going to have a Republican majority in both House and Senate. Somebody asked me at dinner on Monday night, can you get anything done with an infirm president who believes his own press releases? What do you think, Senator Johnson?
Well, what I've been advocating for is we need to restore function to Congress. So I'm making sure, I want to make sure that the congressional leadership, both House and Senate, bring up and institute a budget process where we pass a budget to drive an appropriation process, bring appropriation bills starting in April, and vote on all of them. We can't do these CRs at the end of the fiscal year, kick them down the road before Christmas, and end up with a multi-thousand-page omnibus spending bill, the Christmas tree that all the ornaments are attached to. That is not only dysfunctional, it's corrupt. That has to end. We need to restore function to Congress, and that's something we can do, and we should do, and I'm going to do everything I can to insist that we do it.
Let's close by talking about campaign metrics. It appears to me that the money's drying up on Mandela Barnes, that they've thrown in the towel and given up. And I know you're going to run through the tape. What is the situation on the ground?
No, Mandela Barnes is raising all kinds of money. He's outspending us 2-1. And we just found out that Dr. Epstein is monitoring here in Wisconsin, and Google it's double any kind of effort they've ever done in terms of manipulating voter. And of course, I think that's probably an illegal in-kind contribution, but it's hard to catch Google. So no, I need funds. Ron Johnson, Senate.com, this Marquette poll put me up 6. I'm not up 6. This is a dead even race. That helped dry up funding for me. I'm being outspent 2-1. I'm going to need.
I love candidates who won't take a lead and just sit on it. I love that. So let's help out Ron Johnson. But Senator, what is the website slowly?
RonJohnsonForSenate.com, and I need help.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. I really did. But I love through a candidate running, and I love throwing off a 6-point. But you have a 6-point lead. Is that the Marquette poll?
Yeah, but again, they've been consistently wrong. So other polls had me 1 up. I consider this dead even.
Oh, sprint.
Pour it on.
Sprint. You got to pour it on. And by the way, if you contribute to Ron Johnson, you're helping Derek Van Orden and other candidates in Wisconsin as well, and you're helping get Tony Evers out of the state capitol. It's probably the best investment you can make to take a state house, a congressional seat, and a Senate seat with one contribution at Ron Johnson for Senate. Senator, I got to close. Has Mandela Barnes tried being humble and admitting that the country's in the gutter?
No, he's just completely deceiving Wisconsinites, trying to make them believe that he's a moderate. He's not. He's a radical leftist. He's by and large been in hiding, not made himself accessible or available to the press. He's just trying to do the old Joe Biden campaign, not necessarily from his basement, but certainly in hiding.
John Fetterman should have done that. I think John Fetterman was Mandela Barnes, and that they're both denying what they believe on fracking, on crime, on no bail. They're denying the inflation. They're denying the Democratic denial, I think, will become itself an anchor, Senator. Last question. Is there anything the Democrats can do to surprise us in the last 2 weeks of this election?
Yes. I mean, they've got a good turnout operation. They have no problem extracting votes from people. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot they can do. That's why I say, I'm going to need financial help so I can tell the truth about Mandela Barnes. And we've got a good ground game as well. We're working our tails off to save the Senate seat. So anything you can do, Ron Johnson for Senate.com would be helpful.
Thank you, Senator. Keep coming back. And I love it that you're running through the tape. I love it. Thank you.